I think it's been very useful. The mixture of creatives and academics and businesses all together has been interesting because people bring different levels of practical experience, but also I think just different parts of your brain thinking about problems. So that balance between what the theory behind some of the decisions we might make is, and the, if you like, the sort of production skills of actually what works and what doesn't on the ground when you actually try to create experiences, has really come through. It's interesting, they're both very different situations. The actual briefs are quite distinctly different. And yet, just talking to you now, for the first time I realised that they both involve staircases. And there's very little in common between the ideas to do with staircases. So one idea uses sound, one idea is using projection. And I think it's because the briefs that set up each challenge are very different. So the one project had a very clear set of points to touch on or objectives to meet, sort of 5 or 6 key threads to bear in mind. The other idea was much freer, about there is clearly an issue, a problem, what can you do with it? So I think that's why the one has felt a more creative-based solution and the other one has felt like a more analytical-based solution. It's definitely reinforced the understanding that there is no substitute for testing in the real situation, and that modelling it, whether it's a very sophisticated model like 3D modelling or building a physical maquette of something, through to just the model you make in your head when you're trying to imagine an idea, are extremely different to the real world situation. And so the closer you can get to that, the better. We found a location that matched as physically as closely as possible the place that the client has, and even then we argued about how close it was, and the subtle differences between it and the real world, the real situation, were important. And I think, I haven't asked them, but I imagine the rest of the team would say that it's key, it's crucial that we now test everything we've done, rethink it in situ in the museum, in the Petrie, because it has subtle differences which might totally change the ideas we've had. I'm absolutely positive that this is a good solution for the brief. I think the biggest challenge for us is actually demonstrating the solution. So we've all talked it through enough and talked through the issues and challenges enough to be confident about what we're doing, but then summarising that very succinctly in a demonstration to a new pair of ears is very difficult.